Navy veteran. I have a Bronze Star. I used to drive a aircraft carrier, and that was pretty cool. I was trained in the military in toxic cleanup. See, these companies, they try to discredit you any way they can. They're saying I'm not qualified and I don't know what I'm doing, and it's oil. I mean, and I didn't even know at the time this oil is like 15 times more toxic than what you put in your car. I was the yard boss for Enbridge. So when Enbridge says I'm a nobody, they appointed me to the top position for the biggest spill in United States history. And just like with fracking now, I mean, fracking, Michigan's one of the largest fracking states there is. One well used 23 million gallons that you can't reuse. It's gone. But tar sand oil, it causes these pipes to break and split at the wells because they have to use a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, because it's like peanut butter and it won't flow through the pipe. That's why they call it tar sand. And it's got little particles of, microscopic sand in it, but it eats away at the inside of the pipe, and especially where the welds are. They know the oil's there. I was just at a meeting where Enbridge is arguing that this oil that's still left in there is a commodity. But they're letting your kids swim in it. And they're saying you can eat the fish. A year ago, before they ever were told to reclean it up, for an entire year, they said it was clean, 100% clean. All right, so then inhalation. This is really bad. Prolonged and excessive exposure may cause irritation of the nose, throat, lungs, and respiratory tract, which may lead to headache, nausea, drowsiness, fatigue, pneumonitis, pulmonary edema, CNS depression, coma, and respiratory arrest. A lot of people went into comas, a lot of people had seizures, and several people died. Enbridge will never say that it was because of them, but their own document says that it can happen. I even have a manager at Burger King that said that 24 hours before Enbridge said it happened, Enbridge trucks were in her parking lot getting fast food, and they said they were looking for an oil spill. That night, she worked a double shift, and they came in and said they found it on Sunday night. They didn't report it till 10 o'clock Monday. This is the book we're trained with, all right? It says in here, if there's an oil spill, it's 1,000-foot evacuation from where the oil is, all right? They lied to everybody and did not evacuate. I watched the movie Aaron Brockovich, and I thought, well, I'm just going to go door to door. I went to 1,400 doors, and I left flyers, and I talked to a lot of people. And 200 people, I didn't even know about sick people. I was working. I was out. Even after I got fired, I was out trying to prove the cover-up. I didn't have time to learn about the sick people. And so I went door to door. 200 sick people almost showed up at the Brickyard in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Just lately, I'm thinking to myself, somebody in the crowd just blow you away.
My mom, this is the first time she ever talked to a film crew. Just let it sit for a minute. Let all the shame pop up. Now they're saying that it never made it into the lake. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Most educated people are unaware of how bad things really are right now. When the dark water is exposed, then the water absorbs the heat. This is why the Arctic region is warming faster than any other region on the planet. So you have one cube on the left that stays fixed, and the other cube that changes as a function of time. So why don't you go ahead and play that. I'm going to pause it right there. So by 2020, pretty sure there won't be ice in the Arctic.
Some guy come up to me out of the blue while we were unloading a truck, and he said, "Do you believe in free energy?" I said, "Sure." He says, "If you fill out this application, you'll go ahead and get free energy, and they'll give you the machine itself." This is gravitational and energy system. You look at the numbers on this one.
Okay.
Okay? And that is actually 125, 35 pages of information on how to do teleportation.
Do you have said machine?
No, I do not. But the government has the machine, as I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
You're making
this will be
bee
for the,
costumes?
This will be for the Occupy bus tour, because we'll be able to wear them and go and do a bee die-in at a grocery store or something like that. It's
Go in and swarm around
and then die. Swarm around and label GMO
Oh, I
foods and
love
then
it.
come together and then
Wait.
die with Monsanto.
That's what happens when corporations get a hold of water. They're using that water not to grow crops for the most famished continent in the planet. They're growing flowers to sell in the European economy. Flowers. So it's actually interesting. There's one person at the EPA who regulates all of the bottled water in the United States, and that's not all she does.
When these companies come in and start buying land, and we're there to protest this and organize against it, they would have had a better chance. So what these community groups are is their defense of the community.
As you know, we probably all know, fracking and sand mining affects our water. Here's a map online that actually shows all the places in the United States where you can't drink the water anymore.
As people begin to pull their heads out of their TVs and look around, there's something of hope. There's something they can connect to fight back against the corporate takeover of our democracy.
Of course not.
Why don't we all get together and form our own government?
This is happening in Detroit. There is a shadow People's Assembly government coming into existence in Detroit. Since the emergency fascist manager that they live under is entirely illegitimate, people are taking it into their own hands to be a community.
The people we massacred come there to buy their alcohol to finish the massacre, and they die of alcoholism in record rates. And I think you mentioned Wounded Knee before. That was 1971 when the FBI, 73, thank you, when the FBI came and shot so many Lakota tribesmen who took up arms and were trying to fight the police, and they lost, and it was horrible.
Again, this is outside the boundaries of the Lakota Nation, but those treaties were broken again until we were slammed down to a small piece of land that is basically unarable. You can't make anything grow on it, especially good food. And so that's one of the things that happened is a lot of people that purvey alcohol from back in the 7th Cavalry days realize that that's the way to subjugate people. But not everybody there does that. Some of us use alcohol in a responsible manner. Some of us use medical marijuana in a responsible manner. What I call a redneck state. It's a red state. What we call a redneck state. It's one of the most racist states in the United States. And in fact, that's why we can't get this uranium issue addressed in South Dakota, because they want to promote tourism. And yet they're not looking at that these open pit uranium mines can cause a whole bunch of damage to the people. So they're not thinking about that. They just want to promote race or tourism. And guess who they're promoting tourism to? White folks that want to go meet Indians.
I've had this notion for a while now that, wouldn't it be wonderful if people like us, the new people that Art had spoken about the other day, could live off of the land like the indigenous folk? Is there any option there within the tribes for them to open that land to the people that essentially stole it from them, open their hearts and open the land, that we can live off of it harmoniously?
This song I'm going to sing comes out of Mexico. It's out of a language called Aztec in Lakota, or in Nahuatl we call each other Mexica. Therefore the term Mexico or Mexico. sun. Thank you.
From plastic grocery bags.
Oh,
like this.
I did my mistake. I made a mistake, and the last few only went into the fabric and didn't go into the other, and didn't go actually into the bag. So
I also make that's a laptop holder for my laptop.
Oh, this is a laptop holder. Ooh,
I
nice.
spilled coffee on it, I have to wash it, so that's why my laptop's not in it right now.
Yeah.
This is just a handbag, made completely from Walmart bags. And the lettering is even Walmart lettering. I just rearranged it a little bit.
Oh, really? Yes. Oh, that's funny.
Thank you.
Thank
that's
you.
definitely a good way.
Not
That's what
the original idea, but I put my own design and spin on it, so.
Yeah. What idea is ever original?
That's a good question.
Well, I'll generate a...
The wheel was an original idea, but we don't know who did that.
These sisters have something to say.
These sisters have
Something to say.
Okay, the FemGA will be taking place tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
But there will be breakout groups
Where women will have the opportunity to convene together and breakout groups where men and women can integrate.
There's a park 1 block away. Called Sherwood Park. The idea is to have Robin Hoodie March to MLK Park sometime tomorrow. Robin Hoodie March
to MLK. You got to pick that up a little bit.
Robin Hoodie March to MLK Park tomorrow.
Does everyone recognize me out of uniform?
No, I
I got part of my uniform on. Very stylish, aren't I? I retired 10 years ago from the Philadelphia Police Department at the rank of captain after 24 years. We moved up to the Catskill Mountains in an abandoned farm with 200 acres. We turned that into a wildlife preserve. We had an organic garden, chickens, goats, dog and cat sleeping on the porch. We had a very idyllic life. I came upon this thing called Zuccotti Park and Occupy Wall Street. I held my sign over the metal gate right in front of all the police, and it was an orange fluorescent sign that said NYPD. Don't be Wall Street mercenaries. That so inspired me. It so inspired me that they were willing to get arrested like that, that I made the most spontaneous decision of my life. I put my sign down and I went up there and I sat down in the street to show solidarity with them. What's interesting is 4 times the police walked around me and arrested people behind me. What did I do? I got up, I walked back and got in front of them again. Now to this day, I am not sure whether they were showing me respect and camaraderie, not wanting to arrest a fellow officer, or were they trying to avoid a spectacle? I did not go limp. Okay, everybody else went limp. There was a sense of being a police officer, I did not want to make their job any more difficult. I wanted to show civil disobedience, but I didn't necessarily want to make it that point by making their job difficult. This is your notice to immediately cease and desist wearing your uniform. Be advised, I am prepared to take any and all necessary action. Wow. As long as you don't take any action, you will not be arrested for impersonating a police officer. In fact, any of you here could wear my uniform. As long as you didn't take any action. What went through my mind when I have the 3 photographers and all these photographs being taken, I say, this is what Marilyn Monroe must have felt. They put you through the police academy for 4 or 5 months. They don't want you coming out and being so sensitive that you can't handle the blood and guts, and then you quit. That 4 months of training was wasted. But you hire the guy that's insensitive, he's the guy that's beating people, shooting people, and there you're losing millions in lawsuits.
I'm curious as to how much the different police departments communicate. So I was surprised talking to a supervisor at the Boston Police Department when he said, we have no communication with any other police department, we just do our own thing.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much, when I was with Philadelphia, that's it. Yeah, you're very independent, and a lot of that is foolish pride, that you don't want to even ask another police department how'd you handle this situation or whatnot. White shirts are supervisors. They supervise the blue shirts. They have to stay in the background so they can see what's going on. If you're in there beating people, who the hell is supervising? You had as many white shirts fighting as you did blue shirts. It was incredible to me that any major police department would make that critical mistake.
That happened a couple weeks ago in Chicago during the Alec presentation. There's a picture of a white shirt going like this. It's clear as day.
They're all over.
It is very clear that the protection of property in the state has always been for the majority of local as well as federal police.
Do you feel that majority of the police officers are proud of the job they do?
If you're going to tell me a majority hate or love it, and they're the only 2 choices I have, I would say love it. Yeah.
Paid for his own hotel and brought himself here. And God bless you.
I appreciate that. All right, everybody, thank you very much. I appreciate being able to talk to you.
They're shipping sand from Aldo Leopold's Sand County to Rachel Carson's Pennsylvania to frack. Rachel Carson, the woman who literally united science and environmental justice together and wrote Silent Spring. I mean, I always tell my students in my writing classes, there is no away. There's only water, soil, and sky. And this process gets it all. So maybe not. Maybe fracking gets the gold star for destructive properties.
Spread it out.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Tara, you made it. I'm glad to see you.
Oh, look at you being all sack hungry and shit. You're all like, oh, dude, I want to get this sack.